Hey viewers, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we are continuing the yesterday female reproductive system. Already we have completed the inner structure and already we have described that one. So now the female external genitalia includes, see, only the female private parts which is physically appearing outside the body, that is going to include mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and clitoris. See, mons pubis is a cushion of fat, the tissue covered by skin and pubic hairs. See, whatever the female reproductive part appearing outside, that is what mons pubis. The labia majora are fleshy folds of tissue which extends down from the mons pubis. See, and surrounds the vagina. Surrounding to the vagina, the mons pubis are present. Okay, it is the covering to the vaginal opening. The labia minora are paired folds of tissue under the labia majora. The opening of the vagina is often covered partially by a membrane called hymen. It is one of the membrane which is present above the vagina. The clitoris is a tiny finger-like structure which lies at the upper junction of the two labia minora above the urethral opening. See, urethral opening means the opening which is responsible for the excretion of urine. Above that, this clitoris is present. The hymen is often torn during the first coitus or intercourse. See, the tissue membrane which is present above the vagina, it is going to break during first coitus or intercourse. However, see, it can also broken. However, it can also be broken by a sudden fall. See, sometime a girl suddenly fall means at that time also chances are there for turning of that hymen or jolt. Insertion of vaginal tampon. See, during menstrual cycle, the tampons are going to insert in the vagina. During that time also, the hymen is going to break. Or active participation in some sports like horseback riding, cycling, etc. These are also responsible for the turning of hymen, etc. In some women, the hymen is even persist after the coitus too. Means after intercourse too, the hymen is present. In fact, the presence or absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. See, we can't say all these things are also responsible for this indicator of the virginity. Okay, so virgin means what? First thing, if a person is not sexually active, but the first time is during that process, the female's hymen is going to rupture or broken. So that is nothing but some bleeding is going to happen during the coitus. That is the indicator that hymen is broken. Sometimes this happen due to above mentioned reasons too. Okay. See here, next we have integrated reproductive organ, that is nothing but the mammary gland. A functional mammary gland is a characteristics of all female mammals. See, we can say it is a peculiar characteristic of a females in mammals. The mammary glands are paired structure breast that contains glandular tissue. Keep this in mind. Mammary gland is consist of glandular tissue and a variable amount of fat. See, the glandular tissue of each breast is divided into, see, this tissue is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes containing a cluster of cells called alveoli. Okay, the cells of alveoli secreted milk, which is the stored in the cavities lumen of alveoli. The alveoli open into a mammary tubules. The tubules of each lobe join to form a mammary duct. Several mammary ducts join to form a wider mammary ampulla, which is connected to lactiferous duct through which milk is sucked out. See, here with the help of this diagram you can understand this is what the mammary gland, particularly it is connected to the rib cage. Here the ribs are present. In between that ribs, the muscles or intermuscles in between ribs are present. After that ribs, pectoralis major muscles are also present. They are providing the support. After that, the fat on the glandular tissue, the fat is present. It is variable in amount in each woman. That's why the size of the breast is small, medium, large like this due to presence of this fat. After that, mammary lobes are present about 15 to 20 and containing a cluster of cells that is nothing but the alveolus or mammary alveolus. This is the cluster. After that we have cavities. In this cavity the milk is going to filled out. After that the alveoli open into a mammary tubules or mammary duct. Next, see, these tubules, these are the tubules, mammary tubules, and they are going to open into a mammary duct. After that they have one of the junction ampulla. After that mammary ducts is going to release the milk in the lactiferous duct. Through this the through this lactiferous duct the milk is sucked out through the nipples. Okay, so after this we have gametogenesis. It is one of the process in which the formation of gametes is going to take place. Formation of gametes is known as what? Gametogenesis. See, the process of formation of gametes is known as what? Gametogenesis. Here, the primary sex organs, the testes in the males and the ovaries in the females, produces gametes. See, as we all know, for the production of gametes, in males, testis is responsible, in females, ovary is responsible. That is sperm and ovum respectively. By the process called gametogenesis. As I said, process of formation of gametes is known as what? Gametogenesis. In testes, the immature male germ cells, spermatogonia, produce sperm by spermatogenesis. It is one of the process, gametogenesis process, happening in the males. Okay, that begins at the puberty. It is going to begin at the age of puberty. The spermatogonia, singular form is spermatogonium. It is in the plural form, spermatogonia, present on the inside wall of seminiferous tubules, multiply by mitotic division and increases in number. Each spermatogonium is diploid and contains 46 chromosomes. Means here the number is in 2n form. Okay. Next, each spermatogonium is diploid and contain 46 chromosomes. Some of the spermatogonia called primary spermatocyte periodically undergo meiosis. See, some of the spermatogonium undergo mitosis and some are undergoing meiosis. Mainly, the primary spermatocytes are undergoing meiosis. A primary spermatocyte completes the first meiotic division, that is reductional division, leading to formation of two equal haploid cells called secondary spermatocyte. See, primary spermatocytes are going to convert into secondary spermatocyte by the process meiosis. Okay, here what is going to happen? The diploid cells are going to convert into a haploid cells which have only 23 chromosomes. Okay, the secondary spermatocytes undergo the second meiotic division to produce four equal haploid spermatids. See, secondary spermatocytes are undergoing second division of meiosis. See, whenever mitosis is occurring, it is happening in a single cycle. But when the meiosis is happening, it need to happen in two phases. Okay, so in meiosis 1, secondary spermatocytes primary spermatocyte is converted into a secondary spermatocyte, and secondary spermatocyte it converted into a spermatid during the second meiosis. Okay, here the spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa or sperm by the process called spermiogenesis. See, spermiogenesis means what? The process of conversion of spermatids into sperm is known as what? Spermiogenesis. After spermiogenesis, sperm has become embedded in the Sertoli cell. See, after the sperms are formed, they need the nourishment or require nutrition for the sake of maturation, development. Okay, so they are going to embed their head into a Sertoli cell and are finally released from the seminiferous tubules by the process called spermiation. See, after they get adequate amount of nutrition and all, they are going to pull out their head from the Sertoli cell. So that process only is known as what? Spermiation. See, here next, spermatogenesis start at the age of puberty due to significant increase in the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH. See, spermatogenesis mainly happening in the males. Okay, so that is happening during puberty and it is happening due to what? Increase in GnRH, that is nothing but gonadotropin releasing hormone. This, if you recall, is a hypothalamic hormone. See, as we all know, GnRH is belongs to hypothalamus. That's why it is termed as what? Hypothalamic hormone. The increased level of GnRH then acts at the anterior pituitary. See, they are going to act on anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of two gonadotropins, that is nothing but LH and FSH. See, LH stand for luteinizing hormone and FS stand for FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, LH acts at the Leydig cells and stimulates synthesis and secretion of androgens. See, LH and FSH are responsible for the synthesis and secretion of androgen hormones from the Leydig cells. Okay, we can say these are the masculine hormones which is responsible for all secondary sexual characteristics in males. Androgens in turn stimulate the process of spermatogenesis. FSH, say, androgens, they are going to stimulate the process of spermatogenesis, whereas FSH act on the Sertoli cell and stimulates See, androgen is acting on that one, and FSH is releasing, having a impact on the Sertoli cell. Secretion of some factors which help in the process of spermiogenesis. See, FSH is responsible for some of the factors which is required in spermiogenesis. Let us examine the structure of sperm. In it is a microscopic structure. See, sperms cannot be visible to our naked eyes. Microscopic structure composed of a first part, we can say sperm's head, neck, and a middle piece and a tail. See, a plasma membrane. See here, you can refer this diagram. Here, this is what head, neck, this is the middle part, and this is the tail. So here what is going to happen first, plasma membrane envelops the whole body of the sperm. See, throughout the body, the plasma membrane is covered. Next, the sperm head contains an elongated haploid nucleus. You can see this elongated nucleus, the anterior portion of which is covered by a cap-like structure called as acrosome. The acrosome is filled with the enzyme that help fertilization of the ovum. See, acrosome only responsible for, we can say, fertilization of ovum. But how it is happening? Certain enzymes are present here which is responsible for the penetration of ovum. Okay, the sperm. Next, the acrosome is filled with enzyme that helps in the fertilization of ovum. The middle piece, from here to here, the middle piece is possesses a numerous amount of mitochondria which produces the energy for the movement of tail that facilitates sperm motility essential for fertilization. See, the human male ejaculates about 200 to 300 million sperm. See, it is going to ejaculate 2 to 300 million sperm during a single ejaculation. Okay, for normal fertility, at least 60%, for a normal person, at least 60% of the sperm must have normal shape and size. At least 40% of them have show vigorous motility. Okay, out of this out of this 60%, at least 40% need to show vigorous motility. Okay, so next, sperm released from the seminiferous tubules are transported by the accessory ducts. Secretion of epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, and prostate are essential for maturation and mobile motility of the sperms. See, the seminal plasma along with the sperm constitute the semen. So if we ask you to define the semen, at that time you need to answer the seminal plasma along with the sperm constitute the semen. The function of male sex or accessory ducts and glands are maintained by the testicular hormone, that is nothing but the androgen. See, all the functions related to male accessory ducts and male accessory glands are controlled by the hormone androgen. Okay, so next, the process of formation of mature female gamete is called as what? Oogenesis. It is one of process, gamete formation process occurring in females. Okay, which is markedly different from the spermatogenesis. Okay, it is, we can say, totally complex process which is occurring in females. It is not as same as in the males. Oogenesis is initiated during the embryonic developmental stage when a couple of million gametes, mother cells, oogonia are formed within each fetal. Oogonia are formed and added after birth. See, what they are trying to tell means, as per the oogenesis, this is happened during the embryonical state. Means what? When the girl is present in her mother's womb. During that time only, couples of million gametes, that is nothing but the oogonia, are formed. They are not going to delete it. They are not going to add on afterwards. Okay. See, these cells start division and enter into prophase 1 of the meiotic division and get temporarily arrested at that stage. See, during prophase 1 only they are going to arrested. That is what the primary oocyte. During primary oocyte itself, this oogenesis is going to arrest or it is going to stop. Until what? At what time it is going to reopen? Each primary oocyte each primary oocyte then gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells and it is called primary cell follicle. See, when the granulosa cells are surrounded to primary oocyte, that cell is known as what? Primary follicle. A large number of these follicles degenerate during the phase from birth to puberty. See, large number of primary follicles are going to degenerate during what? From birth to until it reach to puberty. Therefore, at puberty, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary. The primary follicle gets surrounded by more layers of granulosa cell and a new theca are called secondary follicle. See, primary follicles means single layer of granulosa cells is surrounded, whereas secondary follicles multiple layers of granulosa cells are going to form. The secondary follicle soon transform into a tertiary follicle, which is characterized by a fluid-filled cavity called the antrum. Okay, the theca layer is organized into an inner theca interna and outer theca externa. So, these are the layers surrounded to the cell. It is important to draw your attention that it is at this stage that the primary oocyte within the tertiary follicle grows in size and completes its first meiotic division. It is an unequal division resulting in the formation of large haploid secondary oocyte and a tiny first polar body. The secondary oocyte retains bulk of the nutrient rich cytoplasm of the primary oocyte. See, they having a reserved food too for the sake of development as well as maturation. See, at present we are not very certain about this. The tertiary follicle further changes into the mature follicle or Graafian follicle. See, the secondary oocyte forms a new membrane called zona pellucida. So Graafian follicle is also what? Tertiary follicle which is changing into a mature follicle. Mature follicle is nothing but the Graafian follicle. So it is going to covered with the new membrane that is known as what? Zona pellucida. The Graafian follicle now ruptures to release the secondary oocyte ovum from the ovary by the process called ovulation. See, in simple words, if I said ovulation means the process of release of ovum from the ovary is known as what? Ovulation. See, here these are the schematic representation for spermatogenesis as well as oogenesis. Wait a minute, something is gone wrong. Okay. So here, whatever the red balls are visible to you guys, these are nothing but the spermatogonia. I am describing this in a spermatogenesis. Afterwards, I am going to describe this in oogenesis too. See, here at the age of puberty, spermatogonia, in the inner germ cells within the seminiferous tubules, they having the spermatogonia. Okay, spermatogonia, they are going to get in a repeated mitosis. Okay, they are undergoing in a repeated mitosis differentiation C 1, 2, 3. After third stage, they are going to convert into a primary spermatocyte, that is nothing but a white ball. Okay, after this, the primary spermatocyte is going to convert into a secondary spermatocyte by the process of first meiotic division. Okay, so here all these are in a 2n state. Red balls are in a 2n state. Okay, what about this one? These are also, see, these are also in a 2n stage. But here what is going to happen? After first meiotic division, they are going to convert into a n and n state. Okay, means from diploid they have been converted into a haploid state. The secondary sperm only. And by the process second meiotic division. After that, spermatids are going to convert into a spermatozoa or sperm by the process of differentiation. See. Okay. So here the chromosome number also you can observe. Wherever I have written 2n, that stands for 46 chromosomes. Wherever I have written n, that stands for 23. See, either one you need to mention. Either you need to mention this or you need to label like this. Okay. So same process in the oogenesis. Here what is going to happen? Oogonia, they have been formed in the embryonic state only. You can see here fetal life. So they are undergoing mitosis differentiation, means repeated mitosis. After that, they have been converted into a primary oocyte. Okay, primary oocyte they have been converted. Here, what is going to happen after conversion into a primary oocyte? They are going to arrest it. The oogenesis is going to arrest or stop. Until what? Until the birth of that girl is going to happen, child is going to go on. After the puberty hits, at that time, the primary oocyte is going to convert into a secondary oocyte. See, primary oocyte is converted into a secondary oocyte by the process of first meiotic division. See, it is completed when the menarche is begin. Means the first menses is begin, at that time it is going to restart. Okay, along with what? One first polar body. So this is happening in a adult reproductive life. See, after that, the secondary oocyte is going to convert into a ovum along with the second polar body. So this is happening in a reproductive life. Okay, means what? The menses are already started and this is going to convert into this during intercourse. Okay, so hope so you guys are understanding my lectures. Explanation is as per your convenience. If you have further any doubts or you need any of the video, just comment me in the comment section. I'll try to help you all the peoples. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. After subscribing, just hit the bell icon to get new notifications. Make sure to share it to someone who need it, and don't forget to comment if you have any query means. I'm going to try to solve that query. So I'm going to meet you in the next video or next stream or next shot. Till that, Allah Hafiz, दुआ में याद रखना.